So the difference in between the file and directory is that file is the collection of correlated information. So correlated information means whenever we create any file, that we save that file by using some extension, or by default extension is given by the application program to that file. For example, .doc file is there. So from that extension only we can find out that what type of file it is. Then .txt extension is there. Then .bmp, .jpeg extensions are given to the image files. Then .mp3. These extensions are given to the audio or video files. After that .ppt extension is there. .xls extension is there. Different programming languages are there which are saved with the different extension. For example, .c, cpp, java. So by using that extension, we can find out that what type of file it is, and all these files that are stored inside a directory. So directory, it is also called as folder. So directory, it is used to save the different types of file. So how we can define the directory? So directory is a container that is used to contain folders and files. So it organizes file and folders in a hierarchical manner. So here directory is just like a briefcase. मतलब अगर आपने briefcase consider किया तो normally we use the briefcase to keep our cloth. तो briefcase एक container है. So here directory, it is nothing but the container, and in that container we can save our file, and file is the collection of information. And suppose different compartments are there in our briefcase, then here we can say that एक directory अगर है आपका जो main container है, and in that container we can create the different sub containers, that is different sub folders. Means here, for arranging all the files in well organized manner, here we can create the subfolder inside the main folder or root directory, and after that you can save your files accordingly. For example, abhi aapka let us consider this diagram. So in this diagram you can see that all the directories and files that are arranged like a tree like structure or in hierarchical manner. So here D1, this is called as root directory. Now inside this root directory different subfolders are there. Means let us consider that you have created a folder, name of that folder is SE, that is second year, and in the second year folder, suppose you want to arrange all the files in a well organized manner, then in that case suppose you want to keep the information of your different subjects. So in that case what you will do, you will create one of the folder, name of that folder is operating system, another folder is there, name of that folder is suppose maths, MUP and AOA. So you will create 4 subfolders or subdirectories, and after that all the OS related information you will save in the OS directory, all the AOA related information you will save in the AOA directory, like this. So directory, it is a container which is used to save the different type of files, different types of file. And here you can see that how many number of files and directories are present in your system. So that you can find by using the Window Explorer. Suppose Window operating system is installed on your system, then Window Explorer is there. So you can open that Window Explorer or My Computer, and after that you can see such type of information. So here this is the snapshot of my PC. So uh, my standalone PC. So here you can observe that here C colon, D colon, E colon and F colon is there. So normally uh, when uh, when we buy the computer, so that time only hard disk, that is secondary memory, is present in your system. So here C colon backslash greater than sign, it is nothing but the name given to your secondary drive or to your hard disk. After that, now for well organization, here you can divide your hard disk into different partitions. So here hard disk is divided into different partitions. So here we can say that it is divided into 4 directories or 4 folders, and name of that folders or partitions are C drive, D drive, E drive and F drive. So given hard disk, it is divided into 4 partitions, and after that we can use these 4 different partitions for saving 4 different type of information here. And here you can see that the C drive is selected. So inside the C drive, suppose you have installed the different softwares in your system, then here by default that softwares or that application programs that are installed inside the administrator directory. So normally C drive का जो path होता है C colon का hard disk का, so all the application programs are installed over there, and Suppose at the time of installation, if you want to install that particular application in the other folder, means other than the C drive, मुझे अगर D में, E में और F में install करना है, then you have to choose that path. So here you can observe that inside the C drive, the different folders are present here. For example, here you can see the Turbo C3 folder. So whenever the Turbo C is installed on my PC, that time this folder, Turbo C3 folder, it is automatically created at the time of installation. So whenever user will write the C program, then by default that program will get saved inside the Turbo C3, or you have to choose this path only. If you want to save your .c program over here, means outside that Turbo C3 directory or inside the C drive directly, then here you are not able to execute that, because all the binary executable files, library files which are required to run your program, that are present in the Turbo C3 directory only. So here this subdirectory is created under the C drive or under this window directory. Then here you can observe that SQLite is folder is there. So SQLite, it is nothing but the DBMS software. It is just like a MySQL. So all these, suppose you have created any database or table, then all that database and tables, that will get saved inside this SQLite. And here you can apply different SQL or queries. You can fire different queries on that database only when, if you will choose this path, that is C colon SQLite, and after that you have to open that table, then only you can fire different queries on that table. So like this here, whenever we will install any software, so that application program will automatically get installed in the C drive, and then in that particular file only you have to save that file. Then only you are able to execute that, because files which are required to execute or to run that particular application program, all that binary files, library files, that are saved inside this specific folder only. So this is the concept of directory. So here, so there are several logical structures of a directory, means how these directories are saved inside your hard disk. So different logical structures are used for that. So that logical structures are logical structure. So it is divided into single level directory, two level directory, tree structure directory, acyclic graph directory, and general graph directory structure. So these are the different structures of the directory. So now we will see it one by one. So the first type of directory structure is single level directory structure. So in the earlier days, in the earlier operating system, when the computer systems were invented, or operating system was invented, that in that time the single level directory structure was used. So what is the single level directory structure? So this is the simplest directory structure which was used by an operating system. So in the single level directory structure, only one directory is there, which is called as root directory. मतलब अगर आपका लैपटॉप है या डेस्कटॉप है, तो डेस्कटॉप में सपोज हार्ड डिस्क प्रेजेंट है, सो हार्ड डिस्क नेम गिवन टू योर हार्ड डिस्क इज C colon backslash and greater than sign. So that is called as root directory. And whenever, if you have installed any application program or softwares in your hard disk, in your on your PC, then all that softwares, it will get installed inside the root directory only. मतलब यहाँ पे root directory में आप कोई भी सब directory create नहीं कर सकते हो. Simply one drive was there, and all the files that were present in the root directory only. ओके तो आपको अगर कोई भी, सपोज अभी आप सी में जब हम प्रोग्राम सेव करते हो, सो नाउ नॉर्मली वी यूज टर्बो सी में जो बिन फोल्डर है उसमें आप फाइल सेव करते हो, और सपोज वेन एवर वी रन दैट, देन वी कैन सेट दैट पाथ दैट C colon backslash bin फोल्डर में हमारा हमारा पर्टिकुलर फाइल है. So we set that path in the Turbo C3, then we can execute that. But here in the single level directory structure, all the files are saved inside the root directory only. मतलब अगर आपको C का कोई प्रोग्राम रन करना है, तो डॉट सी से वो आपको डायरेक्टली रूट डायरेक्टरी में C कोलन में ही सेव करना है. मतलब whenever we install the Turbo C on such type of PC, then in that case your Turbo C3, all the binary files, library files, that will get directly installed inside the root directory, and all the files which are required to execute that, जो supporting files रहता है, so that are also installed inside the root directory only. So there are no sub directories here, only one root directory is present in the single level directory structure. So this is the easiest directory structure. And as there is only one directory in a single level directory structure, that directory, it is called as root directory, and all the files are present in the one directory only. So because of this structure, it is easy to understand, as only one root directory is there. And in this, under the root directory, the user cannot create the sub directory. मतलब अभी नहीं, ये जो previous operating system था, तब that time only one drive was there, and user had to save all his files inside that root directory only. That concept was used in the earlier days. So now what are the advantages and disadvantages of the single level directory structure? So since there is a single directory, its implementation is easy, क्योंकि आपको यहाँ पे आपके हार्ड डिस्क डिवाइड नहीं करनी है डिफरेंट पार्टीशंस में. एक बार आपके इसमें अपने पीसी, मतलब वंस द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इज लोडेड ऑन योर सिस्टम, देन यू कैन डायरेक्टली start your system and you can directly save your program inside the C drive only. ओके, तो वन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर है यहाँ पे, और जो अदर यूजर्स लॉग इन करेंगे सिस्टम में, दैट दे विल ऑल्सो एक्ट एज एन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर ओनली. यहाँ पे एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर देन यूजर्स ऐसे कोई भी डिवीजन नहीं है. ऑल आर, सपोज अदर यूजर अदर देन द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर अगर कोई पीसी यूज कर रहा है, तो वी कैन डायरेक्टली एक्सेस ऑल द बाइनरी फाइल्स, लाइब्रेरी फाइल्स, और जो प्रिविलेजेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर के जो भी राइट्स है, so the normal users will also get all that rights also. So this is the main, actually this is the drawback of the single level directory structure, but its implementation is easy because only one directory is there. And if the files are smaller in size, then if you want to search anything in such type of directory structure, then that will be very easy. एंड हियर अगेन सपोज यू वांट टू क्रिएट एनी फाइल, तो आपको अगर कोई, सपोज आपने वर्ड में यू हैव ओपन द माइक्रोसॉफ्ट वर्ड एप्लीकेशन, एंड इन दैट केस सपोज यू वांट टू सेव दैट फाइल, देन इंस्टेड ऑफ चूजिंग और क्रिएटिंग एनी डायरेक्टरी, what you will do, you will directly open the C drive, and in that you will directly save your program. There is no need to create any subdirectory inside the C drive. So file creation, then searching of files, suppose you are searching your file inside the C drive, then if you want to delete it, if you want to modify the existing file, then all these operations are very easy in the single level directory structure. But because of this, there is main disadvantage of this is that if the number of file increases, then it will be very difficult for the user to search that file or to maintain, मतलब organize वे नहीं है आपका, सब आपके .c programs, .java programs, suppose .db files, if all are present in a single directory, then it will be very difficult to manage. Okay, and main disadvantage is here that suppose अभी only C drive में ही आप सब कुछ save कर रहे हो, only one directory is there, and in that case you cannot save two different files with the same name. So this thing we had studied already in the last lecture कि suppose already आपका os.txt नाम का file already you have saved it into the root directory, and suppose again you will create another .txt file, and if you will try to give the same name to that file, then your operating system, it will display the message that that file is already exist and do you want to replace that file. मतलब एक ही नाम से अगर दो फाइल क्रिएट करना है, तो जो प्रीवियस फाइल है वो डिलीट हो जाएगी, and that your new file will get saved over there. Okay, so this is the main drawback, that you cannot save the two different files with the similar name. So these are the drawbacks of the single level directory structure.